You're listening to the New Old Heads podcast, shot live every Tuesday at twitch.tv/newoldheads and released every Thursday at noon via bringingdowntheband.com. The show is brought to you by Coleman Dental, Printfinity, Indie CD and Vinyl. Support the show directly by becoming a member at patreon.com/newoldheads.
You are now tuned into the New Old Heads podcast. I am Major 7. The crew is in the building. My man Jay Moore is in the building off that, I'm going to stay out of his business. How you doing, man?
I'm doing well, got through a Halloween weekend, in my business, it's like having 3 straight nights of full moon, but
Dodge reaction.
But it was all good. It was all good.
Saw some photographs. We'll talk about that offline, though. My man Longevity, how are you, sir?
Doing all right. Doing all right.
See
Thanks.
you repping the section leaders. Got the crispy
Trying to.
low boy.
You know
what I'm saying?
Decided to, get rid of the hair a little bit.
Is there any type of trying to say anything with that? It's not a statement or anything. You just cut your hair because you wanted to cut it.
Are you trying to say that?
No, I'm not trying to say
See, this is how things get started.
I'm not trying to say anything. Leave it alone.
No,
leave that alone.
Everything can't be a statement at this point.
No, it's I don't want to cut all my hair off. I'm not comfortable with that, so I've been gradually just cutting it shorter.
He doesn't want the Rick Carlisle.
That's the vibe. That's the vibe.
And I could very easily probably have the Rick Carlisle in 10,
could.
15 years.
Yeah.
Because he's got the patchy hair all over the place, some's here, some's here, some's here, And I have a little bit of it, but it's
still good though. You got some time.
It's not not too bad.
I've been bald longer than I've had hair at this point.
Yeah, I'm already home.
If somebody sees a picture of me in the hair, they think it's somebody else.
Yeah. And you got this. I'm sorry, I didn't curse.
Oh wow.
What's up, man? DJ Jay Diff. What's happening, man?
Salutations to everybody else except for this guy.
Everything good your way?
That seemed like hate there.
You can take vitamins, man.
You can.
We talked about this a couple weeks ago.
Vitamin E
I ain't mad,
can hook you up.
He think I'm mad.
You can just rub some squirrels on your head.
Yeah. Oh, squirrel nuts. Yeah. Actually, I heard that works.
Squirrel nuts?
Yeah, try it.
Let us know how it turns out.
Do you have some?
I don't. I just heard it works for people that don't have hair.
Oh.
And that hate on others that have it.
Yeah.
Oh. Hey, Lone, if I bought you some tickets to go see the Temptations, would you go?
Sure.
For a legendary group, that's all you got?
Do I have to stay the whole time?
Yes. You have to watch all of it.
I guess.
That was real random.
We mentioned the Temps earlier. I was just asking. I didn't know.
Oh.
Look, man, I don't like live shows anymore. I've made that determination. I don't enjoy them. I don't like standing. My back hurts.
No,
I'm old.
I like to sit down.
Yeah, rest in peace to Takeoff, man. We can keep this short because I'm over the conversation because I feel like we've done.
I don't think we'll ever
get
over it.
No,
well, when I say over, I mean I don't know how to do a lead in. I don't know what to say at this point because it's just so repetitive. I hate to hear that. That kid's 28, didn't have anything to do with the situation. From what I see now, what's gonna happen online. I'm
staying away
speculation
from all that right now. I mean, They say it's a dice game.
Yeah,
the footage doesn't show dice game. There was a mathematic equation, and the conspiracy theorists have came up with a whole scenario behind it.
Of course they have.
How he was sacrificed for QC and Quavo and all this BS, which is sad. I mean, I don't understand why people don't have the restraint to not say anything about these events that take place without just at least letting it breathe and letting the family grieve a little while before you then came up with all kind of stories. Because nobody's story is ever the right one.
There's so
you
much.
weren't there.
There's so much.
Same thing. They did the same thing to Nipsey Hussle. Remember, it was just like, it was all these conspiracy theories in this.
There's pages upon pages of people on YouTube right now misleading everyone by telling stories that they swear they know what happened.
It's crazy how people will tell all these stories. People who weren't there will tell all these stories, but the people who were there will not.
They'll record it though.
They will not tell what happened, because the thing is that they'll do this to him, they'll do this to your wife or grandmother, or and I've told this before, but when my friend was shot, I talked to the police immediately. Yep. All right, people would be like, "That's the violation of street code." I'm not a street person.
Yep.
Somebody shot my friend. How could I look at his kids and his girl going forward? And I said, I saw what happened, but I'm not gonna say anything because I'm keeping it real.
Streets.
You know, and I think
that's just not what it is.
And plus, once again, you listen to street rap. You are not street people.
Oh,
you know
some of them
bar
are
right
though.
there.
I mean,
some of them are.
That's more so a lot of the people that kind of are fans or things of that nature.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit here and say that they aren't street or from the streets or whatever. I don't think that really played a part in what happened.
Well, no,
honestly.
I think this was just some. Once again, I hate to revisit so many themes that I've brought up here before, but I mean, these things keep happening. But once again, sometimes it gets to be about people and their lack of self-esteem, their lack of self-restraint, and just no value for life. And, you know, that moment that they have of feeling some type of way. Okay, now you've taken this man from his family and now you're on the run, because trust me, you know, I always have the mindset that everything's being recorded, no matter what you do, no matter where you go. Even if people are like, oh, I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. Okay, you know, everything's recorded in HD nowadays, especially if you are somewhere where there is commerce being done.
It'll come out in the wash. It's gonna come out.
So they're going to find you, and
people weird, man, showing videos of this kid, man.
The whole energy behind all of that stuff is weird to me.
It's
man.
weird, man.
And I don't understand how people are just so desensitized to
things that have
all
nothing.
of these things that are going on. I mean, he literally got shot and is laying on the ground, and people were sharing a video about it.
Instead of trying to figure out if there's any, I heard one young lady. I went through there one time. One young lady said, "I'm a nurse. Let me try to help him." Everybody else got their phone out.
Shout out to the whole city of Atlanta, man. I know this has got to be felt really super down there.
I agree.
Just look, you know, and you know, whenever I see one of these hip hop artists and, you know, they lose their life, especially to gun violence, it always jumps out at me, the age. When I see 28, I'm like, what he's accomplished by 28 is actually pretty impressive.
Facts.
You know, regardless of what you think about, maybe you're not a big Migos fan or whatever, but when you look at what they've been able to do, it's actually very, very impressive.
I have always said that their impact on the culture is undeniable.
Yeah, I mean, it's more than commendable what they've done and what they brought to the game. I mean, whether you can compare
and
it
he was
to
about to go on
somebody else
another
that
run.
came up.
And he's about to go on another run.
No.
That part.
Whether they compare it to somebody else that already came up, like I know we compared them to like Bone Thugs or people like that. They are who they are for this generation.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So
and the impact is crazy.
They've put their stamp on what's going on right now.
I agree.
But, you know, once again, I see 28 and I was like, for all he's accomplished in the music industry, 28 ain't nothing as far as what you've accomplished as a man. And it's just unfortunate that he didn't get to do, like, I still, for everything he's probably been able to see and experience, I think about even when I was, you know, I had done some cool things by 28. But it wasn't nothing compared
not like
to
what they did. Yeah.
But at the same time, like I'm thinking about the things I've been able to see and experience and the highs and lows of me reaching, you know, 45. And it's like it still strikes me because I'm like, man, I know he was just getting started.
I just would rather die old and well off than young and rich.
Yeah.
It's just
I
hate that it has to come to that, but I mean, unfortunately, people are being put in a position to where their life has changed for the better and are still losing it.
And I don't know if anybody saw what Coach Prime, give him his respect, call him Coach Prime.
Yeah.
He said today because apparently I think his team is playing somewhere in Houston. He said, anybody if
Texas Southern,
he's like, y'all ain't going out.
Yep.
Anybody, if you got a, you know, little girl or something down there, your family and friends can come to the hotel and see you.
He keep it a buck. He said,
you know, who you were or where you started and where you are now is something different, and who you'll be in a few years is going to be something different, you know. And I'm probably messing up the quotes, but he was just like, you know, somewhere along the line, we just got to do better.
And Prime knows because
it's sad that we have to even keep saying that, because it's like, even when it comes to religion, faith without works is dead.
Facts.
So if we keep on preaching that we got to do better, but nobody's doing anything, it's just we're waving the rest in peace flag and condolences flag and prayers, this, that, and other, but nothing's being done.
Streams will go up for a little bit.
I'm kind of cool on everybody, not us, but like a majority of the people that are out here saying we got to do better. but they don't put forth any kind of effort to make anything or situation better.
But we just have to also, like, I don't know if you guys remember who this guy, because he passed away this week, and I want to give him his rest in peace. Controversial figure, if you will, within hip hop. He was a very loved figure in New York City. His name is 𝗏𝗲𝗋. If you remember this song, Thuggish Ruggish Bones, that the part where he's like, "We're not against rap."
Yeah,
that was him. Okay,
yes,
and
thugs.
when that song came out, I was like, "Man, get this guy out of here." But I'm 45 years old now. And I realized that with him, like they made mistakes in my mind, even now with him and what 𝐶 Tucker did, but they weren't wrong. They made mistakes by some of the things that they said and the way they demonized people who were their children, and they should have had more love for them. That's why
with the message.
That's why when I talked about hip hop artists, like I try to have a little bit these younger hip hop. I try to have a little bit more love in my heart, because I feel like, these are my children. I'm not going to talk about my children like I don't know them. And I feel like that's where 𝗏𝗲𝗋, once again, Reverend 𝗏𝗲𝗋, rest in peace, brother. Our sister 𝐶 Tucker, rest in peace, sister. That's where you made the mistake. Is where like you got on TV and talked about these people like they weren't your children. And unfortunately, we're still doing that now. And that's where that's where the disconnect is, because it'd be like, y'all are old, y'all are broke. And I don't want to be that person, that 45-year-old dude in hip hop. Cause I've pulled a couple of little artists to the side and I say, hey man, this is what you're doing. I see what you're doing. I see the talent. I see the vision, but think about this.
I think that comment,
and I think that's the difference, and I think that's where we need to be going forward, because we, like I said, we can't just look down and point our fingers. Your pants are too tight. Your chains are weird. We don't understand your hairstyle, because that's what a lot of us do once we get to a certain point, and we got to stop that. We got to realize these are our children.
There's two parts to that, though, in my opinion, and what you said is absolutely correct. But there's two sides to that. There's an acceptance of what said old person is quote unquote saying as well. And you have young people that will listen. You have some that's gonna keep on doing what they were doing. We've all been young, so we know both sides. Sometimes you can't tell young people certain things. Sometimes you can't. You know what I'm saying? So it goes both ways with the youth. If you spending time with them and talking to them, let's hope that it gets through and they are receptive to what you're saying. Because a lot of the youth now, everything is based off how many people I can get to like me. I want to get my followers up, clout, and they might miss the message. I'm not saying I hope that. I'm just saying it goes both ways. They got to be receptive.
There has to
realize
be,
that life is real. This is not a simulation.
Nope.
Although it feels like it at times.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
This is real. You can't come back from any of this.
Right.
And there just needs to be some things put into place that people actually do. You know what I'm saying? As far as trying to get better.
There's no reset button for Takeoff. You can't reset it and start over again and go back.
Man.
You can't do that. It's a wrap. You know what I'm saying? So you have to be mindful of the choices and things that you do, even when you're young and you're still trying to put it together.
It's a pandemic right now.
But it was
on people getting killed in this music business. I mean, you got to think about back when we were kids, the only two rappers got killed was Biggie and Tupac.
And it was huge.
It was Biggie and Tupac.
That's because they were the two biggest rappers.
And it was Big L, but he didn't pop yet.
Exactly. He was still technically in the streets.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now,
I mean,
it's
he
like
had his
every
deal,
couple months, there's somebody new added to this list of people. There's a painter that actually has this painting. He paints everybody that dies in the picture. And it's like, this pops up on my timeline way too much to be comfortable with it. Like, it's not comfortable.
He's steady adding.
It's crazy.
Steady adding.
I don't like it, man. And it's very sad.
Last word, Jay, so we can.
So we get out of here. But like, once again, I feel sorry for all the P&B rock and everybody who's lost their life to gun violence. But everybody wants to talk about, the violence in the music and reaping what you sow. Well, what about just the violence? I take it back to my hometown, St. Louis. What those kids, and we talked about a little bit last week, those kids who just got up and went to school, they weren't making music.
Yeah. Violence
in America and the proliferation of guns in this country. We don't want to have that conversation. We want to take it to art.
You're getting to the point that I was just going to not mention, but
but we'll talk. Because
we can get into that.
No, but and we'll stop it because we don't want to go there. Maybe we'll take it.
It's
when
more
we got
important.
More time.
It's more important to
But there are plenty. But for all the rappers that got shot, think about all the people's children who've been shot, just in this city or in your city, wherever you're listening to us from. Who weren't famous, who never made a record, and they still had to suffer the same fate because we don't want to talk about guns and about responsible gun.
I think that's
I'm gonna stop.
That's a good place to stop
there.
It's responsible gun ownership, and also the thing that leads people to the things we said a few weeks ago, leads people to having low self-esteem in these environments.
Yeah.
The societal conditions, the material conditions that people live in.
Yep.
Maybe it wasn't specifically the case for this, but a lot of these cycles that we see in general go back to the same material related things and habits that are formed and
learned behavior.
Learned behavior, and it goes back to kind of how our society is built. So it's like, it's super easy when we see stuff like this to happen to really hyper focus on the one thing that's happening as opposed to finding those root causes. And there's no simple answer. It's not, it's not an individual type of thing, All
right, man, we're going to leave it there. Let's start with Math Hoffa. Everybody's familiar with him, I believe, for the podcast, for his show, right? So
somewhat.
I think he has great product, the barbershop setting. I think he does a great job with it. The guests are dope. Good conversation. But he signed a deal with Revolt, and a couple of his co-hosts, I think it was Esso and Heineken, came out and said that he's allegedly signing the deal and wants to keep all of the quote unquote $2.7 million deal and not share it. So they broke the podcast up. Now we went through this with the disputes with Joe Budden, with Mal and Rory, is right? Is his name
Rory, yeah.
Rory. So my question is this a hip hop thing? Because I don't see, and hip hop podcasts have more exposure. They're out, because they have artists that come on. But
we know them.
We know that we know the people that we know.
In some places, the Steve O's podcast is just as big as Math Hoffa.
Exactly.
Fair enough. Fair point. But what I'm saying is the concept of podcasts growing and getting to the bag, and then issues start to happen.
No, I think that we notice it more because that's where we
reside.
Where we
are.
We're
in that
you know
space.
what I'm saying? You don't pay attention to things that don't directly affect you or that you're not interested in. So it goes over your head. It's almost like it never happened. Right. It's like people can say, for lack of a better example, Kanye did this and they took his stuff down, but they didn't do it to this other person. That's one example. You know what I'm saying? You're not paying attention to everybody else. You just seen they took his stuff down, and then the next one that came up that there was an issue with, you think they're supposed to do that just because.
Maybe
it doesn't work that way. It's just you're not paying attention to that.
That's a good point, and it also kind of goes to, we were talking about the Tribe Called Quest documentary, how people grow apart, and it's kind of.
That was
crazy.
more organic. This is about the math. Like,
I mean, it's
like,
about.
Well, I got $2.7 million, and I'm not saying that's exactly what's happening.
No, but this is allegedly. But
yeah.
Just the concept of a team growing and growing and growing, and then at some point something happening with Rory and Mal, and then in this one, it's like these are two instances that are hip hop related that's focused around the bag. Everything goes to they look like they had a great podcast. I watched Joe Budden. Chemistry was dope. But as soon as the bread started becoming an issue, everything explodes. And to Terry's point, I never thought about it because we're in that space, but I just don't hear about, I'm trying to give you guys.
I mean, this is a situation where fair is fair, though. If you're getting offered $2.7 million based on the brand being your name, but I'm part of the brand, naturally you're supposed to include me in that.
Right.
Now, people do things like having contracts and things in order beforehand so that that's not an issue. But, I mean, even if you didn't have that, if you have somebody that's riding with you and have been riding with you up to that point, you would expect, hopefully, that they would know to do the right thing. But
I guess you know, and this could also also could be a part of what I pay attention to. But even the sports podcasts that we see and some of them that you watch growing, when they level up or there's a change or a shift in the bread or a new set or new whatever, I don't see it like I see it as it relates to rap. It's still in the podcast space, but it's sports related. So I don't know if this is just a rap thing or I'm that's my thing.
People break up every day, B.
Got me there.
Look,
My walks of life.
The thing
Got me
is,
there.
a lot of times we may not know all the particulars, and maybe it'll come out a little bit later. But
Right.
people see $2.7 million deal, and they're
That's a
like,
big
"Oh,
number.
it's a big number."
That's a big number.
It'd be a big number, but they don't understand the $2.7 million that has to go into production.
Yeah.
That has to go into the branding.
Preach.
Like that you just don't get a check for $2.7 million and like, hey, I made it.
Perception
Same thing,
says that. Yep.
I know, but it's the same thing to like when we talk about when people sign $1 million record deal. You
Yeah.
just don't get a check for $1 million and now you're famous and now you get to put out and be on the Grammy show. Like that $1 million goes into your videos, that goes
Yeah.
into your studio time, that goes into your promotion, and by the time you get done with that, you are in a position to where you might have to ask the company for some more money, or at least at another time when records were selling. Now that records don't sell, they don't even care about that.
Smooth Hoosier says some people just greedy. He also says imagine Major 7 getting $2 million from a sponsor and not busting it down with y'all.
There's no way he could handle this show by himself.
Yeah, because that's what would have to happen. All right,
Yeah.
Major 7, here you go.
I sure couldn't.
You're gonna be the new old head.
Talk
sitting
your
here-
talk.
Yeah, I would talk it.
Sitting here for an hour.
It'll be at a kitchen table. We'll be recording on my cell phone.
He'll be on there the whole time. All y'all just rich.
Yep.
Y'all eating sandwiches and stuff. Rich,
Yep.
got money.
And it'll be sitting at a kitchen table on a cell phone. That's the production level. Sure would.
Yeah.
Any thoughts, Lone? Just
Yeah,
just
I
overall?
mean, the only two examples of that I even know of where hip hop podcasts don't work out are the two that you
That's what we
mentioned.
talked
So
about.
it's like, is that even really a big enough sample size to even say that that's a hip hop thing? That would be my
Good
thing.
point.
But two, I mean, I don't know who's a part of the Matt Hoffa podcast. I don't know if are there just a bunch of people that sit on there and interject with whoever Matt.
Matt-
Like I said, I've seen.
Honestly,
clips,
I
but I don't.
kind of know who the guys are, but like
Heineken and Esso are two people that are always with him when they bring someone else in.
So
So,
there's-
kind of like a co-host type vibe.
I see.
They're usually there for the most part, but now they're just breaking up.
So they're just splitting it up, and Matt Hoffa's just taking it.
He's doing his thing and taking whomever he wants to take with
see.
him. From what I understand.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like
It's crazy.
kind of to Jay's point too. You don't know what people do behind the scenes as well.
And he's
You know,
not
and-
honoring
and-
the claim either.
and what people.
why would he?
Hmm?
I mean, because honestly,
Hmm.
we don't. Everything, the ink is dry on that because it's his IP. I am Math Hoffa. This is Math Hoffa's show.
Yeah.
Whatever. I can't remember what the name of the show is. Whatever it is, but because it was a lot clearer when it was Joe Budden. This is the Joe Budden podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It's called My Expert Opinion.
my expert opinion. Okay, shout out to that.
But I guess my point is, you don't know. Like, all right, so there's a difference in different things. We've evaluated this with the show. I have behind the scenes and stuff, and we've talked about this and how the show splits up multiple different ways. Because when you think about it, there's different types of jobs that goes into being a podcast. If you're just kind of doing it pro bono or on a low budget or even not a huge budget, right? So
Right.
you have the talent that shows up and does the talent things, which is talk on the microphone, right?
Mhm.
But then you have everybody that does everything behind the scenes as well.
Right.
Do these other people just show up and not do anything else? There's probably, is there a ton of value in that? Maybe if they're a big enough name. Like I feel like Rory and Mal, there was definitely value there.
I agree.
But these other guys, I know of Matt Hoffa, and I know that there's one guy that sits in this chair, and then there's a whole bunch of people around that seem like they just every once in a
I
while.
think it's like random people that be in there too.
Yeah.
So-
it
yeah.
feels like and I just don't.
It
know.
always feels like there's a bunch of people in there every time. I see
It
them.
always is. It's even people back in the cup behind the barber chairs,
That's what I mean. So
like over by the doors.
there's more there's different types of value within things. So in Joe Budden's case, maybe he felt like he was. I don't know their deal, so I can't even speak on it. But maybe Matt Hoffa, it's Matt Hoffa, right?
Math Hoffa.
Math. That's right, Math Hoffa. Sorry. Maybe he just does everything, and the other guys are just there every once in a while. So maybe there's no value for him on these I don't know. I don't know.
And I know this sounds like rough, and I said this when Joe Budden and they were going through their whole thing. You got to understand who the lead singer is.
Yeah.
You know, Math Hoffa is the lead singer. The other guys, like what Big Red said in the 5 Heartbeats, are replaceable.
That's what he said.
It sounds harsh, but it is what is it. Like, I didn't know until like maybe a month ago when we were talking about something else. I didn't know Rory and Mal had a podcast situation.
Yeah.
You know, because I still listen to.
It's pretty decent.
I still listen to and and watch the clips from Joe Budden because it's the one podcast that's more than an hour long that I can enjoy.
I'm not gonna cap. Rory and Mal is straight though. They got a good.
Oh yeah,
nice
I mean, if they got,
presentation.
I'm happy for them. But
Yeah,
like
they
I
got good
said,
presentation.
you know, Joe
Money
Budden
definitely changes things. Though.
Joe
Just
Budden was the lead singer on the Joe Budden podcast.
Yeah.
I've always said that, like, with us, we are doing 4-part harmony here.
Yeah.
You know, when with our show, like, because if one of us is out, the show goes on.
Yeah.
You know, if Matt Hoffa doesn't show up to my expert opinion, they don't have a show that week.
And it's more than likely an episode where I'm gonna be like, I think I'll pass.
Yeah,
on
they'd
this
be
one.
like, yeah, Joe's not here today. I'll be like, well, I'm not listening.
Unless
to
like
this.
Lone is on the show, then I'm gonna watch it. You know what I'm saying.
Be a great watch.
You know, because I mean, like, because I don't even know if we even put it out as an official episode. It was like. It was one
Just
week
me and
where
you?
it was just a two. We put out some clips, but it wasn't
Yeah.
really. It
Yeah.
wasn't an episode.
Yeah,
What-
because yeah.
What was Big Red's hours?
9 to 5, Jack.
All right, I was just
Oh,
checking.
no.
Yeah. I feel like we've done a really good job of, and this is something that I've always kind of wanted. It's something that I've wanted even long term. Not until like almost now have we even been in a position to where we could do the show without me at all.
Yeah.
You know, but my goal has always been with this for it to be interchangeable.
We about to find out, perhaps.
We'll see. But you know, just like we can all do
Angela
it.
Yee is coming over.
Yeah, we're gonna have her come over and feel. If she come over and get too comfortable, man, it might be we still love you, but Angela Lee, you get comfortable. Can we add her?
I mean, look, man, this is at the end of the day.
Good luck with that.
This is my living room.
I feel you.
But I would
we
say
don't have the coin for Anthony.
we don't.
But
We
what
don't.
I would also say is
So we
that
get a slice of pizza.
I'm also perfectly fine like not being on the show.
Well, me knowing you, I can see that.
I feel like I add a nice contrast.
Cue your,
You're actually a fan.
cue your
favorite.
sound bite.
Yeah,
It's,
yeah.
it's somewhere on here. I don't even know. I don't really care to push that right now.
Yeah,
Well,
there
at least you
go.
said it. If you guys could pick 5 artists that describe your music taste, what would those 5 artists be? You got to pick one hip hop artist.
Just one?
Minimum. You can do
Oh.
more. Minimum one hip hop artist.
That describe my musical
That-
taste.
Like if somebody was like, "What type of music does Terry like?" 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a sample size for who I am musically, who I like.
So it can be interchangeable. It's not just hip hop.
I need at least one.
I could do mine.
Yeah, me too.
I would do Fonte,
Okay.
Odyssey, Radiohead, Flying Lotus, Little Dragon.
Dang.
I
That
do
was quick.
Kendrick, Outkast.
Dang, Lone, you ran that all, and that was only 2 rappers.
Kendrick, Outkast.
Dang.
Mm,
Easier not for y'all not though. Okay.
I feel like a lot of it overlaps, though. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
Fonte could overlap with, I like him.
Odyssey.
You know,
I've never thought of just 5. I'm trying to narrow it down to just 5.
Is that too short?
I could do you 5. I could do 5 on the top of my head. You know,
Shoot them off. Let's go.
New Edition,
Oh,
Ghostface Killer,
yeah.
Pearl Jam.
nice.
Was not expecting that.
I
Yeah.
did not see that coming. Nice.
Yeah, like
Jeremy
Don't do that.
spoken.
That is not. I don't even know Pearl Jam like that. And that is not Pearl Jam.
It's kind of close.
Yeah.
Stop,
gosh,
man.
I don't know why I'm blanking.
Cut it out, man.
I grew up on Pearl Jam. What do you
Yo,
mean?
cut it out. What's the name of that
That's-
song so I can look it up?
Jeremy.
and hear what
Spoken.
Oh, it's Jeremy. Okay. All right.
Jeremy.
I'm asleep.
Jeremy spoken, man.
It don't
He
sound like
spoke.
that though.
Jeremy spoke.
It does though.
It spoke. He speaked.
Hey, do it one more time. Hey, do it one more time.
Jeremy spoken. That is it. Jack.
Curtis Mayfield.
Okay.
Oh, you
Um,
digging into the errors. I like that.
Well, no, and it's just like when you my musical taste,
Yeah.
like
Mine is all over the
Curtis
place, but-
Mayfield birthed so many things.
Right.
Can somebody
To-
in the chat give me 5, by the way?
I gotta give 5 still.
And then
Go Smooth
yeah, I have to
One
put
more.
I have to put Outkast in there.
Yeah. I gotta go with
because they birthed
Outkast.
so many things that I enjoy now. Like Curtis and Birth, New Edition, Birth, and if I got somebody come off the bench, it's Luther Vandross.
So
I know that sounds crazy.
See, that's where I was gonna go too.
Recap yours for me again.
New Edition,
Right.
Pearl Jam,
Right.
Curtis Mayfield, Outkast.
Who's the other?
Luther.
Pearl? Did you say?
Oh, I guess Luther would be my fifth.
And Luther.
Yeah.
No, you said he was coming off the bench, right?
Oh, hold on. Or did I? Or
Did
was
you
that-
say Pearl Jam?
Yeah, I said Pearl,
Yeah, you
Jam.
said
Pearl
Pearl
Jam,
Jam.
New Edition, Curtis Mayfield.
Outkast.
Oh, Ghostface Killer.
Ghostface.
Outkast, Luther's coming off the bench.
Yeah.
Ghostface.
I'm gonna say.
I need
I
a
like
bench
that.
player.
Well, say yours again.
Yeah,
'cause
do yours again.
All right, so Fonte,
Yep.
And Ice-T. No, I'm just kidding.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Fonte, Odyssey,
Yep.
and then Radiohead,
Uh-huh.
Little Dragon, and Flying Lotus.
Was it Flying Lotus?
Yeah, he did say.
He said Flying Lotus.
And then I think off the bench would probably be like I don't know.
Koji Kondo.
No, I mean maybe somebody like Kendrick because he's crossed genre a little bit, but I already kind of crossed the genres a little bit. So
Are you ready?
Yeah, I think so.
Let's go.
Outkast, Kendrick, Parliament Funkadelic.
Nice.
Man, I just had it. Stevie Wonder
Oh,
Yeah.
and
that's
New Edition is pretty important.
New Edition is important.
Pretty important, but I don't want to say the same people that he said.
I mean, but if it's real though,
I mean, yeah.
It's real.
If it's real though, you gotta say what you got because I'm gonna double up both of y'all on one of them.
Yeah, it's real. But I'm gonna add somebody else.
Okay.
Let's go Anita Baker.
Oh,
Yeah, there we go.
that's.
I can dig it.
I'm gonna go Outkast, Stevie, Coltrane, Hall and Oates.
Okay.
Aha.
No, and
Green Day.
no, not Green Day.
Godsmack.
No, definitely not Godsmack.
Wake up. Go ahead and
Man,
put on
that
a little
last
makeup.
one. That last
What's that
one
one
is,
group that white people say is real bad, but like I don't.
In Marvin. I'm sorry, in Marvin.
Yeah, I can dig Marvin.
It's a group. It's a rock group.
I know you're talking about
System of a Down.
Nickelback.
Nickelback. Why do white people like y'all make Nickelback jokes all the time? I'm
They
like, are they
can't
that
stand
bad?
Oh,
They can't stand them.
excuse me.
Yep. Let's see. What time is it?
I don't mess with Nickelback.
9:16.
Somebody bought them Nickelback records.
I could throw Red Hot Chili Peppers in there as a wild card though.
Okay.
Hey, Hall and Oates got heat.
I
They got heat.
don't know. I think what I chose is pretty much what I listen to.
I actually could have put Outkast just covers everything for like they just cover so much. That's just like a super group for me. Like they take care of a lot. But Coltrane's my favorite jazz artist, so
And
I got to have Stevie too, man. Like
yeah, and I was lucky enough to see Luther in his prime.
Luther was
the
that dude.
Power of Love tour at the St. Louis Checker Dome.
Luther was that guy. I ain't mad at. I'm not mad at that.
And the thing is, I remember my parents took me, and I only wanted to go because En Vogue was there.
Shout out to En Vogue.
And I was like,
Shout out to them.
I'll go.
Don't be hating on En Vogue.
I'll
man.
go see, and I'll sit through this whole, this Luther. Now, mind you, like, if you're a certain age, and I'm 45, a certain amount of Luther Vandross music just through osmosis of growing up in a black household. And then I didn't realize not only did I know those songs, but I loved them.
Yeah.
They still go today.
And
Already.
Yeah, they still go today.
yeah, Luther and I've seen so many shows. That's still the best concert I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Power of Love tour.
That's tight. I wish I could have got to see Luther.
Yeah,
live.
yeah. And it was just and came out when his sparkly jackets and his shiny curl and
I'm sure.
ended the show with the best things in life for free.
Hey,
And,
man.
and because one of his backup singers was Lisa Fisher, and she had she won a Grammy that year with How Can I Ease the Pain, and he let her sing that
What
song during
soundtrack was that on?
Oh, which one?
Best things in life are free.
More Money.
More
Yeah.
money. That's it.
Tell me how.
Yeah, and like I had to send somebody down like a wormhole. I was like, because they love 3 6 Mafia, but I was like,
How could I? Oh my.
how do you not know this record and you love 3 6 Mafia? And it was like, this is the sample for Late Night. I think it was like the song
Late Night Creep.
Late Night Creep. I was like,
Yeah.
how did you not pick up on that? They didn't change it that much.
Gobinator just really messed me up because y'all know he like 16. So He has
Gobinator, how old are you for real? Like before he
He's
always
17.
okay.
See?
Because he always be trying to be like, yeah, you don't
He
remember
like
this. It'd be something
13
from
14 years
from
old.
2015. Be like, you don't remember that.
He was born in like 2010 or something. So
Math is horrible.
Horrible.
Gobinator says MJ, which I feel bad for not, or Prince. I should
Michael Jackson. I mean, I
That go without saying?
almost say Michael Jackson is a given for me.
Okay,
Michael Jackson is kind of
A given for everybody. of a
Yeah.
certain
we'll
age.
set him to
Not
the
for
side
me.
then.
yeah for a certain age period. Like we used to play like somebody had to be Michael Jackson, everybody else had to be the zombies.
Well, Lone hates Michael Jackson. So
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
Michael Jackson, Kendrick, Doom, Ye, and Frank Sinatra
And you know
is
what?
Gobinator.
You grew up in the house. It might have been.
I-
If you had asked me
backwards.
this 5 years ago, Kanye would be part of that conversation. Kanye is still one of my favorite artists of all time.
Yep.
Regardless of what he's into, what's going on, he will always be old Ye in my personal opinion.
Look, I'm not going to take them old albums away from him, but
You can't.
There's more years of me not liking Kanye than liking Kanye at this point.
I can't say the same thing.
no, it's about close for me too. Soon
I
as,
stopped
he started selling those Confederate flag jackets at his concerts to his white fans, that's when I checked out.
My Dark Twisted Fantasy
Was
the
2010,
down-
right?
When I started
Yeah.
going down. Yeah.
That was 12
2010.
years ago.
Yeah, so
Up until then, he had me. Up until
It
then.
was about 50-50.
Thanks to our partners. Dr. Coleman of Coleman Dental is our go-to dentist. He's a longtime Indianapolis arts and music supporter located right in Broad Ripple. Printfinity is a screen printing shop based in Indianapolis, owned and operated by our own DJ Jay Diff. Our good friends at Indie CD and Vinyl operate one of the best record stores in North America. Shop new and used in their site or visit them in person. And the best way to support the New Old Heads is to visit our Patreon and become a member for as little as $3 a month. All details on newoldheads.com.
Welcome back.
All right. Shout out to our partners. And the chat is really out here cracking up at us, by the way. Let's see.
Cracking up or making fun of?
Both. Let's get into this next topic here. So your boy, he says he's offended if you call him what was he? Kanye. He said
you mean the name on his driver's license?
Yeah, have to call it. Well, he's officially
Mama
changed.
called him Kanye. I
Yeah,
call him
someone called
Kanye.
But he's been in the news, as we know, but he flashed out the other day. You know, he
Oh, yeah?
compared himself to, he said he knew what it felt like to have a knee on his neck for 8 minutes.
Yeah, and then
You
he
would too if you lost $1 billion.
Apparently.
And then he paused and looked around like, "Did y'all catch the
Did
bar?"
y'all catch the bar? Yeah, we caught it. Not really. Then he had Emmett Till's picture up and compared himself to Emmett Till.
Imagine
Wait,
that.
what?
Yeah, he compared himself to Emmett Till. And he says,
Bro.
Kanye, he insinuated that he's suffering from economic lynching and digital lynching and a bankruptcy of his social credit score. He says, you tried to bankrupt Adidas and me at the same time. You tried to destroy
Sound like you still like Adidas.
You tried to destroy my life after all the money I've made for this for the business's people. At least as I burn to the stake in front of the whole world, everyone now knows who they really need to be afraid of. This is him, and there's a picture of Emmett Till's face. We don't need to talk about it. I heard the movie is triggering but dope, by the way. But there's
Almost don't even want to see it, man.
I kind of don't either, but I kind of do. But he had a picture of his face. It was blurred out. Of course, people are going to click on it. So he said he's getting economically lynched, digitally lynched, and his social credit score is being destroyed by the media.
Another episode of Black Mirror.
So another
Basically.
episode of, I'm the victim.
Yeah.
Even though this is all self-inflicted, I'm a victim because I can't keep my mouth shut and stop saying poorly researched, unhinged things.
How trash are these comparisons, though? That's what I'm.
Well, let me
getting
tell you something.
He's
George
still
Floyd.
doing it now.
Yeah, George Floyd and Emmett Till are dead. They were killed.
Yeah.
George Floyd in HD, and we all saw it.
Yeah.
And you tried to minimize his death because that made you a free thinker.
Mm.
I don't know. I mean, like I said, I've written off Kanye West completely. And I know some people are like, no, he just needs this. Look, and people say, well, he just needs help. And
Then
you
get
know
it.
what? He does need help.
What
But
you say,
then
Lon?
he
Didn't get it.
But this is the thing. He has, and maybe this, you know what? Maybe it comes from a certain point of jealousy, and that's a weird thing, especially
He said he was jealous.
Because he said, but I'm jealous that Kanye West has the access and the resources to get help, because when I actually saw a friend of mine get killed in front of me, I don't have the access and resources to get the help I need.
Right.
So instead, there are nights I just don't sleep, or I over medicate myself with alcohol. And it's something like I'm having a transparent moment right here. I'm going to talk to the people because, like, why would I not?
Sure.
And so when I see people who have the ability to get the best help they can, and they just don't get it, or they refuse the help when people are trying to put their arms around them, and it, if it costs $500 an hour to get the best, mental help possible, or 5,000 or 500,000, and you could get it, and you just don't get it because of whatever reason, then yes, I'm jealous of Kanye West. I'll say that for all the problems he has right now, I'm jealous of Kanye West because, probably the help I need, I have not been able to get it because, like, even, if I spend the money on counseling, then I got to think, okay, well, I got these other bills to pay. I'm behind all this other stuff. And then it creates another level of financial anxiety because the thing is, for all the things we talk about in America, like, we don't have, for people who don't have a lot of money, they don't have access to mental health resources.
Or regular health.
Or just regular health resources. Yeah. And so, yeah, Kanye West, that's why I don't feel sorry for you, dog.
Let me
ask you could go out and get the help. You just don't want to do it.
Let me ask you guys this. Terry, I'll come to you as the resident Ye fan. Let's talk about the kids, like 60 kids at the school that are being displaced, and also the athletes, the young men that were sent back from the AAU tournaments and all this stuff based off everything that he's initiated. It's all trickled down. What do you think about that part of it with those kids? Because they have nothing to do with it.
They don't, but unfortunately they're tied to a brand rather than actually being tied to a school system.
Okay.
So it's not like when you hear about the Donda Doves or his school, like even if you see the pictures of it, they're all in Yeezy attire. Mm-hmm. They're all pretty much, I hate to say his pawns or something like that because I don't know that. But it looks like he's trying to make a whole bunch of little yays, essentially. I don't think it's fair that kids are being left out of certain situations. I'm hoping that they get placed in another school system and are able to finish out the school year.
I agree.
But I heard that it's not closing, that they were still going to go through the school year or whatever.
Okay, that's good.
But I don't know. I don't know if they're doing that or not. But I don't think it's fair. But life isn't fair, essentially.
It's not these kids' fault. But at the same time, if you are a parent and you send your child to a school that is not accredited, that was created by somebody who does not read, and one of the daily activities is parkour, then honestly, what you want me to once again? It's not accredited.
No, it's not
once
accredited.
again, I don't. There's certain things where I can see where I'm like, okay, I feel sorry for those kids or people or whoever, but I don't feel sorry. These are the decisions somebody made. And I can only be so sorry for people who make conscious decisions.
Jump in, Lon. What are your thoughts? Even to the sports piece, if you just want to do that, because we've talked about
multiple things can be true. This is what I say. Yeah, it's sad that stuff's happened to the kids, but at the same time, me as a functional adult would never send my kids to a Kanye West Academy or Donda Academy or anything to that extreme. Mm-hmm. And my guess is if they're being sent there, what I don't even hold on before I talk outside of my head. What is it even for? Is it just a regular
private school?
It's a private school that people pay to go to.
I don't think people
technically a religious school.
I don't think people pay to go to this school. I think they're kids that he essentially has.
No, people pay to go to school.
No,
it's a private
it's
school.
Tuition on that. Yeah,
it's tuition.
Yeah, they had to pay to get in there.
Yeah,
I think it's tuition.
If they had to pay tuition to get in there, they shouldn't have a problem getting in any other school.
Because
I imagine that it's probably not cheap.
No, yeah.
My general feeling around them being displaced is, I just don't care.
Oh, you got your
I
I
just don't care because
I do care about the kids.
Here's why I don't care, because they're weaponizing the kids to make me try to feel sorry for Kanye West for the things that is happening to him. That's why I don't care. So it's not that I don't directly not care about what's happening to the children, but what's happening here is everything that's happening to Kanye West is based upon his actions and the things that he's done in the last 12 years. Perpetually up to this moment. And what we're saying here is like, oh, but look at the kids over here. This is a result of the stuff. I don't care. This is a result of what happened to Kanye West and the things that he's trying to do. If he cared enough, he would have thought about those kids before he did the stuff that was going to bring down his Donda Academy.
He didn't think about any of this situation until it actually happened.
They're weaponizing the kids in this aspect to defend Kanye West. No, it's like,
I don't think they haven't really made it like it's a big deal. I mean, they talk about it because everything that's associated with Kanye, they talk about.
What I'm saying is it doesn't matter, because if anybody's doing it, I feel like anybody is. If there's any type of anybody out there saying, oh, well, this is the result of, all this, and look at all these kids, I don't care. The result of Kanye West. Yes, it's a sad situation. You don't want to see people, disrupted in that aspect, but this is a result of Kanye West. Let's talk about these things as they are.
Think about them, though. These kids can recover from this, essentially. I mean, I don't know what ages.
I agree with that.
All they got to do is enroll in another school and they'll be perfectly fine.
Yeah.
A lot of it was probably a clout currency.
Perhaps.
I go to Kanye West school. I wear a Kanye West outfit every day,
especially with the athletes, the young men that were the athletes. I can see
because I don't even know if any of the athletes are nationally ranked or anything.
He had some highly ranked kids that joined his program.
And then there was a whole tie with Donda Sports with
Antonio Brown was running it or something.
Oh, that's
not a good idea anyway.
That's the
you have unstable people running the organization.
But he's unstable himself, so
that's what I'm saying. Unstable people, not person.
I'm talking about
because
Kanye's
he
unstable
surrounds
too.
himself with people who make him feel good.
People.
Look, this is just another place where Kanye West has not taken any responsibility for himself. And him not taking responsibility for himself affects so many other people. And that's the thing. I don't think that's where being a functional adult comes into play.
Meek says, I heard that there was $15,000 for tuition. And then Smooth Hoosier says, I think he's going your direction. He said, you can feel bad for the kid. You can feel bad for the kids. It's their parents making the decision.
Absolutely. I mean, and that's with every kid, essentially.
Yeah.
I just feel like there's separate thoughts, and it's very easy to tie everything together. Like, oh man, look at this. It just weaponizes the kids to try to validate what Kanye does, and I'm not with that.
Yeah. Once again, just like I talked last week about, I don't respect Kanye because I feel like he's using God's word as a hustle. He's using these kids as a shield. I don't respect none of it.
Well, it kind of goes back to the whole mental health issue and needing to get help. Because I mean, even with this last thing that he said, I know you said I haven't supported Kanye in any of these antics.
No, I'm not saying that.
I want to go ahead and get that out there, or clear the air on that. But
overall, for the tally,
what's going on here is simply him trying to correct what he's messed up and still not knowing how to do it, because he wants the hugs and attention and help, but he wants help from people with knives in their hands, essentially to stab him in his back. These aren't his real friends. He's seeking this validation from people that he's not going to give validation.
Did you see the pictures he posted? It's still a couple real ones out there.
Well, I mean, he posted Herschel Walker. That doesn't say anything.
And Stephen A. Smith.
And then he posted under, the picture of Herschel Walker pro-life. The guy who's not
Can't
sure.
form a sentence.
Even take that away. Who's got who's got a couple abortions under his back? Schmishmortions. Wait, we're gonna probably fix that.
Yeah.
And is not sure how many kids he has. Yeah. But yeah, this is the guy you hold up as somebody who's of moral
and was proud to share.
Well, I mean, the only reason he's doing that is because he's still following this whole train of thought,
free thought,
that these people are thinking freely. But you've seen where that's gotten you. I mean, and you backpedaled when you set up the whole or when you lost your Adidas deal, and everybody had formed this opinion that he's doing this on purpose so that he can fly by himself. Well, the next day he was knocking on Skechers' door to do the same thing.
It's all it goes in circles, because now he says, I'm misdiagnosed, bipolar. They trying to throw that on me, but
whatever,
you drop a project that says,
"No, he was
bipolar."
He was poking
like
fun at that. That's why he was saying he could use the word.
I never know, bro. Look, I never know.
He tried to champion the R word.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Look, let me tell you something, man.
Good call.
And because now all of a sudden there's a segment of super woke, the brother Onks of the world, because he came back over on the side, and now that he's talking greasy about our brothers in the Jewish community, now they were able to look past all his anti-black. He dipped his toe into anti-Jewish sentiment, but he been wading in the waters and swimming in the deep end of anti-blackness.
See what you did there.
I'm gonna tell you right now, if Kim Kardashian decided to take him back and Adidas and Balenciaga open their doors to us, he'd be right back in Balenciaga.
He'd go right back. Just said he would. That's why he's including Adidas in this latest thing.
He would go right back to Calabasas
with Adidas,
and he would give us his ass to kiss again.
I told y'all last week. I said, y'all told me you were like, nah, I still think he'd find something. That's cool. But the things that Jay Moore just spoke to, the marriage and the Adidas relationship and all the high fashion, I feel like some of this will be curbed because he's getting more of what he wants.
Once again, this is the dude. Like, don't come to me on some super ultra black, platform now after you broke out the White Lives Matter T-shirts with the Pope on them, and especially when for the last 10 years you've been obsessed with European clothes, European cars, and European women. Don't come to me with that.
Hey, any last thoughts, Long?
I mean, just more of the same. He feigned accountability.
Mm-hmm.
He did just enough to, but he wasn't really being accountable on his fake apology.
I think he actually is sorry. He's sorry because he's
he's down $2 billion. He's
sorry. Not a billionaire.
But I don't think he's sorry. But I think he's sorry that it's like a thief when you're sorry when you get caught. That's all.
That's what it is.
I agree with that.
Everybody's sorry when the judge is about to sentence you.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
Man, but
I agree with that.
I did once he said the George Floyd line.
Oh, Steven Jackson been eating him up too.
Really,
deservedly so.
He's been going in.
Yeah, he's been going in. Right, that's his guy, so he's close with the family. So I understand.
Yeah, he's been going in.
That drums
and
up.
it's pretty much he's saying the same things that we touched on. You can't say all of these things and then how people are support. Well, you got to listen to what he said right there. You can't say all of those things and expect for people
to dissect it.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To dissect exactly what you're saying, or you can't expect for me to champion you just because I agreed with one thing you said and I did disagree with everything else.
Right.
I'm not about to hold you to a high standard or put you on a high horse just because you said one thing I agree with when majority of what you said I don't.
Right.
Let's
shout out to the two brothers that bought the White Lives Matter trademark so Kanye West can't make any money off of it.
Oh, nice.
I was not aware of that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Now this person is legit. The next person is legit. You won't have any problem.
Buckwild.
I won't have any problem with that.
All right. Bring him up.
Yeah. Let's see what Buckwild has. Well, I know one single he did. It's called "Like Whoa" by Black Rob.
Yeah, I'm not giving that to the Hitman. It's a Buckwild record.
That is a Buckwild record.
Actually, a cool dude too. Man.
Did he judge you in a beat battle?
He did. I got a chance to talk to him. He actually gave me some good, strong feedback.
Okay.
So salute to him for taking the time. He was like, "Fam, it's there. You gotta tighten them drums up though." That's what he kept saying. It's there. I tighten them drums up though.
What'd I tell you about them hi-hats, man?
Man, he said you gotta tighten them up. He said they there. He said you gotta EQ them. They ain't slapping, bro. They not slapping. I said, thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Cool.
Oh yeah. The OGs talk, you gotta listen. I ain't say a word other than thank you.
Now, Buckwild, is he a part of like Digging in the Crates?
Yep. Mm-hmm. You got it.
Okay.
So 94, starting off with OC.
Let me go ahead.
That's pretty self-explanatory there. Let's see. Beastie Boys in 94. Brand Nubian in 94. Big L.
What do you do for Brand Nubian?
All of that in 94. With more Big L. AZ.
Fully Loaded. That's the new one. I haven't heard it, but I heard it was good.
I haven't heard that yet either.
The one that came out in 2020.
Mike Geronimo, 𝐀𝐁𝐎 Rap. Sadat X, Mad Skills.
Cool G Rap, AZ, Big L. I think you already named these.
He got 2 on the War Report, Capone Noriega.
Organized Confusion, Diamond D.
Yeah.
I Got a Story to Tell.
Yep.
Yeah. Jay-Z, Lucky Me from In My Lifetime. Big Pun's Dream, Shatterer.
Hey, there we go.
Fat Joe's Walk On By. Mace is Another Story to Tell.
Black Rob, whoa.
Whoa.
That's a big pun.
Yep. Inch. Beanie Siegel. What a Thug About. I'm going to tell you what a thug about.
Yeah.
I like that record. P. Diddy. I'm cool. Fat Joe, My Lifestyle and Still Real. 𝐀𝐁𝐎𝐓, The Streets. AZ, I'm Back.
Now that right there and the Rebirth, those are crazy. That's a classic album, the Asiatic.
Fat Joe, Take a Look at My Life. 𝐀𝐁𝐎𝐓, Holla Back.
Shout out to 𝗏𝗲 too, The Thin Line. That's dope.
Can't even read that on there. Nas, These Are Our Heroes.
Yep.
Terror Squad, Pass Away. 50 Cent, I Don't Need 'Em. The Game, Like Father, Like Son.
That was a dope record.
Beanie Siegel, Look at Me Now.
That's a dope record.
I-20 and Play the Circle, You Ain't Got Enough. Don't remember that. Remy Ma, She's Gone, Play a Circle, You Can Believe It. Terminology, Respect My Walk. Immortal Technique, Jada Kiss, Pain and Torture. Method Man in Red, Mrs. International, 𝗏𝗲. He did not produce that one.
Produce that.
Sadat X, Long Years, component Saigon. Shouts to Saigon.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. He did Nas, You Wouldn't Understand. Mano,
Dope album.
Nino Brown.
Life is Good.
R.A. the Rugged Man, Still Digging with Buck. Papoose. Cure, DJ Effin, Revolutionary, Ride Music, Easy Money, Money and Blood, Rex, Vinny Paz, Terminology, Apathy. He's all over the place.
Yeah.
He is. A lot of heat for a long time, too.
Took the walk to Poland, man.
I took the walk
To Poland.
I saw a video, the whole crowd was going nuts on that song.
I feel like that's the biggest viral hit like that since Mo Bamba.
Hey, they was lit. They
Now,
was
Mo
lit.
Bamba was
Songs
a little
about-
more lit than that.
Songs about nothing.
Mo Bamba used to go crazy.
Still goes crazy.
It's super.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
No
bro.
words. No words in that song.
Yeah.
Listen to Jay.
Shout out to Sheck West.
Witnessed
Wherever
it.
you are, Sheck West.
Witnessed it. If you actually, I was with Terry in Chicago for that selection
The
show.
selection show.
It
Yeah,
was
they
like-
went completely.
I was
The
like,
floor
oh.
felt like it was about to
I
cave
was like,
in.
what is going on? All right, so let's do.
Lil Boat is a very popular young man. His fan base is ridiculous.
All right, Buckwild. Let's get on to this.
Okay.
Influence of Buckwild.
Where we at? Impact on Peers?
See,
6.
that's what I'm linking towards as well.
I like 6.
Yeah.
Versatility. How versatile are the hip hop records?
I give him a 7.
Yep. 7.
I gotta agree.
6.
Mm.
Collaborators. Different hip hop styles of the artist that the producer has worked with.
7.
8.
I think he needs a little more credit on that. I'll go 8. A bit more.
Yeah, I think. Yeah. He's super underground though. I'm gonna do 7. Still up there. Hit making. Big hits or cult classics.
Got a handful of those.
I go
Big-
9 on that.
Big.
Got big records.
I give him a 7.
I'll meet you in the middle at 8.
8. Consistency of quality material released.
Pretty
8.
consistent. Yeah. I go 8. He's consistent.
8.
Yep.
Body of work. How great.
Solid.
7.
I'm with you there.
Yeah, it's fine.
7.
Final product. How often are the songs great from?
Outside of the classics, it's solid. 7.
7. 7. Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm leaning towards. Melodic elements, samples, and or original.
You got a good ear, man. I'm gonna go 8. Got a good
I'm
ear.
gonna stick with 7.
7 as well.
6. 6.
Drums.
8.
9.
Yeah, I'll give him an 8 on that.
2-8. All right, Bucky.
Bucky over here.
Where is Bucky and what has he had?
Okay,
Bucky's got a 7.3.
All right.
that's respectable.
Yeah.
Super respectable.
Respectable for OG. Okay.
That'll do it for our producer showcase today, or
Yeah,
I think that's it.
So.
Yeah, I think that's it.
So, and then we'll be
I
back
think
in
this is a
few
good
weeks.
place to stop.
Yeah, I mean, we
We're
had
gonna
2
take-
failures, so
Yeah, we're gonna take a little break and we'll jump back into it. Is there anything else that I missed before we get ready to ride out of here?
Yeah, man, just one more. Shout out to the whole city of Atlanta, man. I know this has got to be felt really super down there.
I agree. Shout out to y'all for all the support. Shout out to the chat as well. Very active. We appreciate all the comments as always. Thank y'all for sticking around. Remember, if you see new old heads anywhere online, like it, subscribe it, save it, put it as a favorite,
Share it.
do all that type of stuff.
become a patron.
Yeah, become a patron.
Hate on it.
Hate on it.
We
Do
still
that.
we still get a view when you hate.
Yeah, curse in the comments. We like all that. We appreciate the support. We'll see y'all next week. Peace.
Yeah.
Goodbye.